Jesse hatches a plan to save Granny and Tulip. Cassidy learns a thing or two about vampires, and Arseface shows us that you can never really go home again. But that shouldn't stop you from having a positive attitude. It's Preacher! Season 3, Episode 6. Les Enfants du Sang. Hey everyone, D here, and welcome to this week's review of Preacher. So yes, of course, spoilers are ahead. Alright, so moving things along, and let's start off with catching up with somebody that we haven't seen for a while. Eugene, Arseface, he's back! Well, trying to get back home. That was a bit of a shock. I mean, I love the opening shot where you just see him and it's all like peaceful and calm behind him. He's got that nice peace t-shirt on and the camera just pans to the devastation of the town. Of Meat Central. That was just, it was like, oh yeah, that's right. He did leave before the town got blown up. This is squad return for him. And understanding how that can be a bit devastating. But Eugene is such an optimist. I mean, I love that little, just tiny little arc for him. How he looks at the devastation and the death and how nobody's there. And then realizing, well, maybe being in hell saved my life. So God does have a plan for me. And so something's good. You know, he gets to that great positive, like, man, God's thinking about me. Boom! Immediately runs into his new roommate who just gives the layout of his horrible life. My mom died, my dad died, my mom died because my dad stabbed her, and then Granny died, and then the aunt died. I mean, everybody comes up, died, everything's horrible. Arseface's response of just, well, you survived. Maybe even write a book about it, make some money. I mean, again, just the optimism is great. So when the saint shows up, again, we're expecting another kind of slam of depression here, of negativity. But I think Eugene's positivity is getting over on the saint. There was that scene where Saint picked him up, and he's talking about, no, God's not part of anything. And he's like, well, of course God is. God's part of everything. There was that look on the saint's face of almost like hope starting to creep in there. There might be getting some positive effects of Eugene being around the saint. This might be something to turn him around. Really hoping that's the case. Certainly was there off traveling together. You could leave and maybe give Eugene some pants though. Just a thought. That's all I'm saying. Oh yeah, and so obviously that means that the saint was sent to get Arseface, and so it would soon probably Hitler, by the same token, that those are the two people the devil is wanting the saint to get. Is that really going to fix his plans? Is it just going to clean things up? I thought it would be a little more, I don't know, powerful there. Maybe he's just going to use these two to get to something else. I don't know. With all the plans going on and AllFather and the devil's, you know, new expansion project, it just seems that getting Eugene and Hitler just oddly didn't seem like it should be at the top of the list. Now Cassidy's little adventures with the Curious and Les Enfants du Sang, the children of blood, as they constantly seem to repeat. Loved all of this. I mean, let's be honest, we're in New Orleans. We need to have your Anne Rice vampire, and that's who Icarius is here. With his whole, you know, he's the vamp, he's got the fancy clothes, and the big old style hair and everything. He's got his little cult around him of worshippers, basically, his little club there. Very classic what you would expect vampires. The fact that they're total wannabes, posers, not posers, posers. I love that correction. Living in Kevin's mom's basement or grandma's basement there. God, that was just so awesome. I mean, really, this is such a nerd pounding right here. The old joke, people doing their crazy stuff in their mom's basements, they can't get any jobs, and this is exactly the kind of group that we have right here. So, I mean, I love that whole just ridiculous aspect of this group. Now, Icarius, actually, I kind of enjoyed from this. I was expecting a little different. And, okay, slight spoilers from the comics. Icarius here is very different from the comic book character, and that's what I kind of like. They've really switched around. The comics, Icarius, he doesn't know anything. He's a poser, yes, but he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know how to do anything, and he's basically just preying on his little group. Here's really, you know, he actually does have knowledge. I mean, he can fly, he can do suggestion, he can transform into a cat. Whether he can transmogrify into a classic bat also, I mean, is it just the cat? Is it multiple creatures? We don't know yet, but certainly big, impressive things. Big enough and impressive enough to kind of turn Cassidy around. Well, when he got to the transmogrification, the transforming into the cat, the flying didn't really seem to impress him. Cassidy, which I found kind of interesting. Sure, it was a little green screen, and part of me was almost wondering if they were going to pull out and they were actually going to be in a green screen and they're just sort of filming to show this is some other goofy thing in the basement. So for a moment, I was expecting that. The fact that he was actually flying, again, impressive. Icarius here does seem to know things. He's also not preying so much on his people. Yes, he is turning them to help power his advanced vampire gifts, shall we say. But he's not murdering them. And he's done it a lot. There were a lot of teeth in that little aquarium there that, what's his name, dropped his old fake teeth into after he was turned. So there does seem to be, I don't know, at least some positive aspect of Icarius here. I am rather suspect, though. Because he's looking for a friend, and that was kind of touching. It was kind of touching, you know. I met another vampire. I'm looking for a friend I thought that you might want. But if that's the case, what's happening to all the vampires he has turned already? There didn't seem to be any in the group there. Those all seemed to be humans wanting to be turned. We didn't see any evidence, or at least I didn't see any evidence, of any of them actually being vampires. So are they supposed to go out and do their own thing afterwards? I'm not sure. We did get hit on the whole importance of them being good, which again was something of knowledge that Icarius is bringing up. I mean, yes, Cassidy changing his son, he was a bit of a shit. He knew there was some trouble. But even before he did that, when he went back and talked in with his old buddies and groups, they were still stressing that point of him being a good person, that there's standards, there's rules, there's a procedure for doing all of this turning. So that was brought up again here with Icarius, which again does seem to give him a bit of positive substance. I mean, again, he didn't seem to do anything wrong. He turned him. He didn't, the guy, he didn't kill him. He turned him, jumped back off, threw his teeth down, you know. That seems to be positive. He does have gifts that he's exhibiting. He does seem to know things that he can teach and show Cassidy. But I'm still very suspect because there are no other vampires. And with Icarius' search for a friend, I just don't see how just turning people is enough power to do all the things. Maybe because they're fresh bodies. Cassidy is usually with the, you know, the donor blood and stuff like that. Okay, he did the chicken, but that was, you know, he was in a tough spot right there. So I'm not sure. Is it the freshness of the blood that gives the power, or is this not really what Icarius is doing? Is there something maybe a little bit more sinister behind it? I like how they presented it. I'm just, of course, suspicious. All right, and the plan to save Granny. A bank heist. Love that. I mean, I love the whole two-part plan. One, we fake their deaths. Got to make sure they think that they were successful, that Madame Boyd's plan was successful. Tulip killed Granny. Granny then dying killed Tulip. Jessie all wah sad. You know that was Boyd's plan all along. There was the wahness in her thoughts. So yeah, fake the death so they think that they're dead, that part of the plan was successful, and they can't suspect Tulip coming in. She's not on their radar. That's really important. Even though she was in disguise, great disguise, love the wig, you want to be sure you take them off the radar as much as possible. Love the 70s groove music there going into the bank. Really just that, the whole sequence had a great feel to it. the lick instead of the handstand. Was not expecting that. Asian technology, though. Very interesting. That was our bit of foreshadowing that our other Japanese soul bank possibly be behind the Bank of the Bayou. Is this just a subsidiary? The Japanese own everything here. I think that's possibly the case. So yeah, a little bit of Asian technology. That was awesome. Loved the whole Tulip breakdown there when she popped out of the bank. Just kind of the classic badass breakdown moment there of like, oh yeah, there's this many guys and guards, 17 cameras and these things, the special lick-proof stuff, there's only one small way to get into it. Piece of cake. Oh, God, I love this team. And also the boys getting into it as well. 7-minute response time for the cops. They've got a way to make that a little bit longer. So it's great with everybody kind of getting on board here. The team, the group, it's working together. For the moment, at least. Did enjoy Jesse's whole little suckering in of Madam Boyd right there. Beating up the bar to get her attention. She comes down, wants to play the tough one. Jesse knows that she still has some feelings for him. Has to. Hates him this much. There's definitely something, you know, there's still something there. Otherwise she wouldn't care. Not getting spit in the face though. Gonna have to do it the other way. And was that his plan all along? He did have the tongue scraper in there. I have to admire Tulip kind of holding her own. Not getting totally mad about the little makeout session that had to happen there. But it was, I mean, really, it was. That was just, the whole sequence was just Jesse throwing out the line and just reeling in. Oh, she's getting away. Give her a little slack, give her a little slack. Oh, that's right, I have nothing to live for. Oh, just pulls her right back in. So, that was awesome. As for the theft itself, the bank heist itself, yes, that is our Scene of the Week for this week. I know it's not technically a scene, it's a montage, but I'm really picking one part out of it. I mean, okay, it's an awesome montage scene. You got them going into the bank, you got Jody getting ready to do some kick-ass. Oh, that's very serious. The whole bank robbery part, the whole Jody killing everyone at the motel. Brandy does want her revenge, which she does get a little bit later on. But interspersed within that is TC at the petting zoo. And my God, that had me rolling the whole thing. I mean, really, that's the main part. I'm doing the whole montage, but it just perfectly frames, because those two sequences are so serious, so very straightforward, so bloody. You know, the bank heist, they just go in, guard through. You don't have to see anything what's going on. We know what happened. They kicked ass, they took names, they won. Or they take ass and kick names. If we want to go fully Marvel on this. And of course, Jody causing his death and destruction. It's all very violent. But TC, man, I mean, even from the beginning, where he's looking at Jody, he's like, I usually like a little alone time, a little quiet, a little personal time. Not so many crowds, something like that. I'm sorry, I'm missing it. But just that kind of almost like innocent voice from TC. And then he steps out, and that camera shot from underneath the truck as it pulls away, where you just see the shoes and TC's naked legs. We already know at that point he doesn't have pants on. And let's say, those are some mighty smooth legs. Does he shave? I don't know. They weren't very hairy, but I think that, to me, that just added sort of a creepy element. Just that shot right there. The petting zoo in the background, and him with just shoes and naked legs, and that's all. My God, that is so disturbing. But then we get the cops who are riding. There's a guy in a petting zoo. We're responding to a bank heist. Bill, listen to me. It's TC. I mean, that little zoom in too, I mean, it was so perfect of like, it was awesome. And then the last shot of him running, buck-ass naked, I'm sorry, pantsless, because he's got a shirt, he's got a pants, with his junk all like fuzzied out. I wonder in the DVD if that's going to be clear. This was just for broadcast. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't need to see it. But just that shot, because he has almost like joy on his face. He's got the goat on the leash. It was just such a perfect, with everything else serious going on. And this is how DC distracts the cops beautifully, apparently. And this was something that they know to be wary of. Was just, oh my God, that was so awesome. Funnier than hell. Alright, and of course they get these souls back at that point for Madame Langell there, who just kind of eating them voraciously, that tongue coming, she's drinking. That was so wrong. That was so disturbing. Maybe that was the little clue to Jesse that, gotta figure something else out here. I did love the turnaround. The expected, oh my God, she's seeking revenge against Tulip, but maybe she was next in line. She just got to Boyd first. But that was, I think, very effective because it did. We're looking at it. We know that Jesse's been knocked out. Tulip's in trouble. It's like, oh my God. It's like how the episode started up. She's being strapped again to the machine. And then we see the juice come out. And then Granny drink. It's like, oh my God, are they going to have to fight a new soul for Tulip? But no, it's not. It was Boyd. Who, instead of being sent to the tombs like Granny wanted, is now dead thanks to Jesse because a person ain't a person without a soul. Anyway, it was just, I love that. In some ways, it was almost a sign of appreciation, I think, from Jesse. That he didn't agree with it. I don't think he wanted it, but it was going to make sure that she wasn't going to suffer any longer than happening. He will pay back Granny, but not that way, which of course means the Grail's coming back in. And the Grail, lots of things going on over there. Really insights, I think, some of their clearest insights as to the motivations for two of our main Grail characters. Starr giving up in the elevator. He wants power. He wants to be in charge. Unmitigated, unquestioned power to force this chaotic, desperate world to its knees and worship at him to his jackboot. Something like that. Yeah, this is Starr. He's a control freak, but this is what he wants. He's not here to put Jesse in charge, to get some sort of order. No, he wants Jesse as a figurehead, as a way to impose his will. But of course, he is in direct competition with that, with the AllFather, who, wow, really is just a nasty, nasty creature. I love Starr's comparison. This is a man, it's like, you think that I am bad. This is a man that makes me look like a conscientious objector. And yeah, sitting on a man's head and squishing his face and everything just because he touched your hot pocket. It is a little overreactionary. Yeah, and also world destruction. That is the AllFather's plan here. And this is why he wants Humperdew, and this is why he is working with the devil. This sort of makes sense then. He is looking for nuclear annihilation. Cleanse the world by fire. No, it's not just a run on the bank. It's a little bit more severe. So upon his order, that's what people are going to do, which is, of course, he wants to put Humperdew in charge, and everybody worship at Humperdew because they won't question him. And then the AllFather, of course, can make Humperdew anything, as long as it's tap dance format, I suppose. Unleash nuclear fire, cleanse the world, survivors, yay, are under his thumb, everybody else goes to the devil, great expansion project. Really, it's a win-win for both of those sides. It only a lose for, say, everyone else, which is horrific. Definitely more horrific, but only slightly more than the horse. That was not a properly cooked horse. That was all wrong. Just a nasty story. No knight's gonna eat their horse. Only this escapee from meaning of life does it. Really, and the whole projectile vomiting in a bucket. Come on, that's exactly out of that scene. Love, did you see the end of his little rod there? It's 2 fingers. He's sticking down his throat. So, you know, there's symbolism there. Anyway, yeah, that's just, so we're seeing motivations here, I think, which is what we can really pull away from this episode. Yes, these are two powerful forces, an opposition. Neither of them are good, but like Starr said, yeah, he's psycho, but the AllFather and his plan, that's nuts to the next level. All right, just a couple of small things. One, our opening fight, which we don't see, we see the aftermath of. We saw the beginning at the end of last episode, aftermath here. Obviously, Jessie and Tulip lost. Jessie's knocked out on the floor. Tulip was hooked up to the machine, about ready to get her soul sucked out. Jody just a little bit of antler on his back, apparently, but that was it. Now, yeah, we didn't see it, and I know how much we love our heroes being the overpowered, kick-ass folks that they are. I do actually like the fact that they're still getting their asses whooped by Jody. Because Jody is this massive, imposing figure, is the physical big bad of this season. And he cannot be beaten until the end. So yes, it would have been great for them to be, you know, Jessie and Tulip to have even just come at odds and maybe just evened it out or something like that. But no, they have to lose. It has to keep Jody as this big, scary, imposing, undefeatable beast. So at the end, when they finally do, that there is some reason and accomplishment for it. There is something that has been done that hasn't been done before. What they're going to need to do that, I don't know. Possibly Cass, maybe. If you learned something. Wouldn't it be great to see him just come back and like super Cass, just kick the crap out of everyone? I don't think it's going to happen, but it'd be cool to see. Star's head looks like a penis. Yes, it does. We can see why he's been wearing hats. And that a result of being shot by Tulip back in episode 2 of the season. Remember when he was going to give Jessie his soul back and Tulip came out in the words of God to beat them sons of bitches. Get them sons of bitches. Was firing off. Starr got hit, and that was apparently it. A nice shot right across the top of the melon. And yes, would be wearing a hat. One looks nasty too. Don't you think you should bandage that? A couple of those butterfly stitches or something. Because, yeah, he does. He looks like a giant penis now. Am I alone in finding it slightly hilarious that it actually was a daughter and her dad in a bar there? It's just, I mean, that's a bar in New Orleans. You got a younger woman and an older man. You're always thinking that, you know, oh, we expected the father, but they're actually out on a date. Was that just the excuse they used to get Cassidy away? But no, apparently true. After the spell is broken, she was like, let's get out of here, Dad. So, yeah, they were both making out with the Carius, which was kind of sick. But, I mean, at least they were on an honest relationship there. I thought that was nice. Tulip's call to Cassidy. It was kind of painful. Though, I mean, Cassidy did bring up an interesting point. I mean, he's been around for a long time. He does kind of go through people. He's probably met people like Tulip and Jessie before. Well, not like them, but had friend groups like that before and will have them again. Of course, someone strung out in a crack house or crack basement, alleyway, abandoned building, a crack abandoned building, I think is what it was. Maybe not. It's hard to kind of pull somebody into the cheerful realm when they're sitting in that. But it was just, you know, you feel it. I love Tulip reaching out. I love her kind of saying that there's still a group that they still miss. There's obviously still that connection. Here we just have Cassidy really trying to break that. Tulip doesn't love him, so why does he want to stick around for? He doesn't wait, he moves on. So, sad, but it does sort of make sense. On the other hand, that does lead him back to the Enfants du Sang and Granny's basement. Oh, and I love that line. You don't look so good. I've been smoking crack all day. Well, that's not good for you. You should come in. I'm making blondies. All right, well, I think that pretty much covers everything. Now, little announcement for me. This Friday, on August 3rd, I'm going to be doing a little online trivia game with friends Acton Tom Co. and Don Willie over on Mark's channel, Enchantment of Eternity. I've been over there a lot. We've done Game of Thrones viewings. We've just done a bit of reviews on The Expanse this past season. So he's doing a big kind of sci-fi movie, trivia, fantasy, all sorts of stuff. Mostly things he covers on his channel. A lot of Star Trek, a lot of Game of Thrones, a lot of the likes on that. But kind of an expansive sci-fi, fantasy, television, trivia quiz. So that's going to be this Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific. over on Enchantment of Eternity. The Enchantment of Eternity Trivia Challenge! And you guys can play along. If you're there live in the chat, there's going to be questions and stuff going too, so it'll be fun, it'll be goofy, we're going to have a great time. Anyway, so look out for that. I will tweet out links and such as I have that, and I'll try and remember. I'll throw something down in the description below as soon as I have an actual link for it. But yeah, Enchantment of Eternity this Friday on YouTube, 4 p.m. Pacific. Keep an eye out. Should be fun. But that's going to wrap us up for today right here. As usual, enjoyed this review. Please go ahead and hit that like button. Thoughts, ideas, and comments, I love them down in the section below. Write them down. I'll respond. We'll do a little back and forth. It'll be fun. Subscribe if you're not. Quick and easy. Hit this button. You'll catch all of these reviews. We've got the rest of this season. We've got Gifted coming up in the fall. I've got to look and see what else is going on. Definitely Walking Dead also. Anyway, subscribe right here, and I'll throw up a couple of our latest reviews right there. You can check those out. So, that's it for me. I'm D, and I'm out of here. Catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.